cleaning it up.
Call the Milan Township meeting to order at 7:02. Start with the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, that's out of the way. We'll start with public comment. Please identify yourself and address. You'll have 2 minutes.
Mark Moody, Milan Township, road commission come graded the roads a couple weeks ago, and we overrated them a little bit. So we're kind of figuring out for that, but come on, we're kind of a mess.
I'll address that a little later. Anybody else? Ma'am. Cheryl.
Cheryl Majors, Township. I'd like to suggest that the planning commission members have a milan.org email address and that it's available on our website. I tried to get their email addresses today and they're not on there and I still don't have them. I mean, I do have them, but through another source.
Okay, so you're saying to put it on MLive?
Put it on the milantownship.org.
Give up milantownship.org emails.
Yes, give them a
Right.
Milan, give them an
Right.
email address instead of their personal
Okay.
one.
Right.
Okay,
So it's available to everybody if you want. I mean, I know that we should go through John, but, and I also want to address to Barb that, you know, every time I ask for something, I don't need an FOIA. Sometimes, you know, I'm giving stuff, so don't keep telling me about the FOIA. I'm giving you information, or I'm asking for something that's already on the website to distribute to John or to Phil. So I think we're getting this communication here from Barb.
I think everything, this communication is the same, but you can add their things, correct, and we'll move on, so.
Okay, I might add, if you're gonna ask somebody a question, if you would just send me a CC of what you're asking. Because I keep the records and I need to know what's, you know, what's being done.
Okay, so if you don't know what FOIA, what information that requires that, why do you keep asking me?
You keep sending, never mind, okay.
Okay,
I-
and if
I
you
guess
get
I'm
frustrated with the
confused with your-
question, maybe someone else needs to answer it.
We'll address it,
Okay,
thank you.
Tim Stoll, Milan Township. Phil, I addressed the planning commission board the other night about surveying the township on the solar ordinance. Why aren't we doing that? They said it was up to the board to do that.
Well, because I can't answer anything.
It's not, it's public comment anyway, Phil.
Right, as I say, am I wrong? I gotta follow rules. We'll find out, that's all I can do.
Well, I'm just, they told me it was up to the board. That's why I'm asking tonight.
And I thank you for bringing it up and we'll take notes. I'm nervous. All right, I'm rambling. Just, we'll address it.
What was the question one more time?
Why wouldn't we do a survey for the Milan Township for the solar ordinance, or for solar in Milan Township, when we've done surveys in the past for Milan Township?
Why would we do?
Why wouldn't we do
Why
that?
wouldn't we do? Okay.
We'll check on that. Anybody else?
Todd Morning, sir, Township. Quick question on Cooper Road, you know, with the bridge out. The other day, there was a family on bikes that went around one barricade, went through all the weeds from the end of my property to where the barricade is, took it over. The bridge is all messed up and weeded over. Who's liable if somebody gets hurt? Because I know, one, the road isn't maintained there at all, because I can't get my tractor there because of the barricades. So I can't get to the back 5 acres or the road, and the weeds are waist high. And people are dumb enough with all the ticks to come through there and then go over 2 barricades.
I will take that up with the township attorney, that's a valid question, I have no problem.
Because I don't know if it's the property owners or if it's the county with the road, with the.
With
bridge.
laws the way they are, I don't either, but I'll
Okay, appreciate it.
contact the attorney and get his advice. Anyone else? John,
John Shower, Milan Township. I'd just like to mention that at the plant, we had a ZBA meeting last Monday, in which Matt Gruden requested a variance to split his 9-acre property, because the ordinance requires 10 acres or more to split. And because of his request, I did realize that the planning commission, in its lack of wisdom back in 2008, did not foresee people wanting to split property under 10 acres using the alternative split procedure, which allows for splitting into two pieces of any size. And so I will be bringing that up to the planning commission to amend the ordinance later this year to allow people under 10 acres to split their properties per the way the ordinance is set up.
okay. Got that in, Nick?
Yeah, Nick Straub, Denison Road. On Jim's comment over there about a survey of the people in the township, if they want this to go through or not go through, is a real good idea. And, maybe we put a referendum and put it to a vote for the people. Back when we were trying to get gas in here, natural gas, there was a vote on the natural gas and it got voted down. They didn't bring it in. This was years ago, probably 15 to 18 years ago.
I'm familiar,
Yeah.
I've been here since 74.
Yeah, and there was a vote and they got squashed, so gas didn't come in. And then no different than London Township, always trying to get water in. They take it to a vote. So I don't understand why we can't take this, the zoning for the solar ordinance or the solar thing. I don't know why we don't put that to see what the people want.
Well, we'll see what happens. I've noticed your comment. I want to do a little bit, because I think some of that's accurate, some of it's not, but I'm not prepared to.
Yeah, there was some vote or some kind on the gas line and it didn't go through, so.
Yeah.
I don't know how the vote was just done or whatever. But it may have been just, asking, I don't know.
Like you said, it was close to 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
But, okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Sir,
Jeffrey Benor, I just provided a status update on the county or the townships in Monroe County. And a map there for everybody, and where they're at. There's 8 townships now that have decided to put their solar projects into manufacturing or commercial. The most recent is Raisinville Township. They went with, they didn't have a commercial district, they called theirs manufacturing district. They went manufacturing 500-foot setback and 20% coverage. Just an update of where the various townships are in Monroe County.
thank you very much. Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll move on. Need approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Moved and supported, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Has everyone read the last previous minutes, the last board meeting?
I have one correction on the second page, under ordinance enforcement officer. Supervisor Heath made a motion to hire them for 4 hours a week. I think it should say hired him.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's my typo.
Sharper than that, that's just that one. Ordinance enforcement, I didn't think they were females. With the corrections that Ms. Manzig mentioned, you still Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Yes, I do, with corrections.
Moved and supported with corrections, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Disbursements, Barb.
Payroll for the month of June was $8,019.65. The bill disbursements was $16,186.51 for a total disbursements of $24,206.16.
About the normal. Any questions for her? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to accept the disbursement report.
Second that.
Moved and supported, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Mr. Gotts, that's one balance.
All right, general fund, $474,601. Tax account, $5,000. Fire fund is $181,544. Road fund is $220,320. We just got another $79,000 for the COVID relief. So now we have $159,414.02 for that. And with the CDs, we have $1,358,028. 33 pennies.
That's why your expeditions up to date.
Yeah.
All the CDs are up to date.
Everything is good. If you see the tax account, that's where you need to start. I don't know if, I don't know how the last guy did it. It was clearing out that whole tax.
Clear it out.
Yeah, and then we start.
No,
And
you
some
know,
of you have already sent your taxes in, right on.
you did it right, that's good. Any questions? Hearing none, motion be in order.
Make a motion to accept the financial report.
Moved and supported, accept the report, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Buildings report, Olga.
In June, one permit was issued for $75. David Crane worked 8 hours at the hall, doing 3 inspections. He also made 2 land splits. Brian Kozlowski made 1 plumbing inspection. There were no mechanical or electrical inspections. Expenses for June total $442.50.
Questions, hearing none, I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Second that.
Moved and supported, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. The assessment report. Read that, Barb?
Yeah. Oh, she's not out.
She forgot her laptop. But she can't get on.
Field work. Reviewing parcels on Far Road, utilizing aerials and GIS mapping and some field visits. Other work information, balance with the treasurer for the July 2022 summer tax and final tax warrant. Board of review is scheduled for Tuesday, July 19th at 1. Currently, there are 5 parcels for review consisting of pre-appeals, veteran exemptions, and 1 correction for a fire loss. Residential class starting ratio 4720, need to bring the residential class to 50% of true value. Researching and analyzing vacant residential land sales in our township and nearby adjacent townships for comparable sales. Attending class July 28th, valuing medical and recreational marijuana property. Online 4 hours continuing education. Looking ahead, prepare the clerk statement for 591 form with villages, light and drain assessments for winter tax roll due October 1st. Analyze agricultural land values, respectfully submitted, Karen Reed.
Any questions? Hearing none, Motion be in order to accept.
Motion to accept the assessor's report.
One second.
Moved and supported, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Milan Area Fire Department report. The report is the meeting will be next Thursday. There was one last month. I do believe the only thing is that has changed is it's gonna be at 5 o'clock instead of 7. I gotta confirm that. But it will be at the fire station again, so it's just a matter. And I'll see to it that it gets put on the webpage the exact time. Into the report. Next, we'll make a motion to accept that.
Didn't they, Milan, the city, they canceled that.
The raise, so we didn't have to go along with it,
Yeah,
correct?
they didn't want it, so.
No, they didn't want to be the financier because with 4 municipalities involved, nobody wanted to loan money, so the city was going to step up and do it. Be the card holder, you might say. And then they opted not to and just wait and see how things go, so. That's all a good thing. They're not gonna be full-time for a while yet.
I was surprised that they denied it.
Well, it's financial, being 4 of us here had to be responsible for something. They picked one and they said, well, I don't want this township might not be able to pay or that one. And whoever was the signer, which would have been the city, would have been responsible.
Right.
So that's what happened to that. So. Yeah, second on that. Or do we, motion to accept the report.
I'll make the motion to accept the fire department report.
Moved and supported, accept fire department report. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business, our ordinance enforcement officer.
Okay, because Mr. Nebula is too busy at London, I'm trying to track him down. I guess I should put it in the paper again or.
Well, I got a question on that. Have you emailed him or?
Email him. Mr. Nebula?
Remember, yeah, you said you tried to track him down.
No, not, okay, no, he sent me a letter stating because he can't take the job. Because he has.
Oh, then he can't take it. Okay, I missed that part.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, he cannot take it because he's got too many responsibilities.
So we're looking again then.
So we're looking.
Oh, great.
I know of one that's available at Carlisle Workman. I was gonna call him, but I wanted to get approval from the board before I did it.
Also, Mark, you got a guy.
Yeah, I said it forward on you, you should forward on there.
Mark Oldie, you know.
Yeah, Brent Strong.
Yeah, I'll have to go do and look, but if you
Oh,
can,
is he from Milan?
Originally, yeah.
You sent it to her, she's got it.
I'm gonna say, but check with him.
Okay, first, okay.
Next, they got a company that actually supply townships and cities with building ordinance officers and,
The whole thing.
yeah.
See, and that's what Carlisle Workman, they have a man there. I talked to him and then I told him, you know, that we had this other gentleman. And so I didn't pursue it and I didn't know.
Check with him. And see what's going on, and we're back in the hunt again, it looks like. Okay, moving on to our road maintenance and our ARPA funds. You just said we received another 70-some thousand.
79, yeah, so we got 159,000 in COVID money.
Okay, so originally when that first was mentioned, you couldn't do anything but pretty much nothing with the money, had to do this, that, and the other thing. They've been laxing up. And to help better the community it can be used for. And everybody wants free wire or wireless and high-speed internet. Not happening. Not a company out there wants to deal with sparsely populated areas. So Penny's running into the same thing in London. But they narrowed it down, and I mentioned it 2-3 meetings ago. different townships, we're trying to get a deal on, we need a lot of culvert replaced in the, that's why I said I'd get to it. Culverts replaced in the township. And ditches drained and gravel. Any of you, if you live on a main road, I'm sure have gone down the back roads enough to find out that they're sink mud holes, especially if it rains. The reason that is mainly because it's ground up limestone with pure dust. We put chloride down on it this year and it lasted about 5 minutes. And eventually it rained and it's got it calmed down and worked in a little bit, but there is so much powder and places where you'll cut in that deep in the dry powder. We don't need stone all, we need stone, period. Washed rock like they did to Flat Road here into the city limits to be added to it. We call that a project. Everything I've researched and done says we can use that on the roads. So I'm asking the board, I asked the road commission Monday night when I was down there to get a price per mile, and then we won't necessarily do a whole road from start to finish, but there's down by Don's place. There's no bottom, so to get maybe a train load or two in that area to build it up and try to do some. And I told them I would work with them. I'm gonna ask, I'll probably regret this, but anybody knows of a bad hole, let me know, because I wanna include it, see if you say a survey or things, but this is just a help me along on making the right place to put the stone where it'll do the most good. Because at last report, now before all this fuel and everything gone as crazy, it was $38,000 a mile to put a 2-inch lift on the road. So if we can break it up into 2 or 3 places in a mile, we can extend our miles of stone. Will it fix it? Will it help it? Tremendously, because that means next year if we do some more stone only, you'll notice Flat Road from Sherman North is solid. And then the chloride worked on it because it had something to work with. So I'm asking the board, I guess, if they would agree to use this to get some road work done. Ditching, mowing, gravel, whatever. Dan White's started mowing our secondary roads. Last year we hired him for an extra 5 hours of work on hickory to cut back brush that's overgrowing. And he knows about it well as I do, or any of us, where there's places that need to be trimmed. And I said, just give me recommendations and suggestions, and I'll bring it to the board. So this is just all infancy stage questioning and trying to figure out what to do, but before I pursue it, is the board interested in doing that?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
How much of the money are you planning to put into the roads and stuff? Do we have any other projects that we could use it for too, or
Well,
outside of the roads?
covering our tail end, is the best way to put it. This benefits everybody. It's not something that benefits one section or individual, or that's why they was always talking about broadband, wireless and all that stuff, because it would, everybody could do it well, everybody rides down the road. And it's something that falls into the category of we could use it on. So
I want to say that Petersburg Road, it was big rock. I mean, it was a little rough at first, but it's really calmed down. It takes about a month and a half or so.
month and a half and some traffic and a little rain, the whole.
What about something that doesn't grind down? Can we look at a float or a natural rock?
Natural rock would be nice.
Limestone just goes to powder.
Supposedly this is coming from Stone Cove. And it's met the state specs. That's what I found out so far, because when they were getting it from Dundee Aggregate, it wasn't spec'd out
Right,
to
it's too
state.
far down, right.
See, you know more than I do, it's just that it wasn't.
Right.
This is spec so Lord knows we got enough powder to mix with it, we don't need county mix. Ideally, and that's something that put back like 15, 20 years ago, I wanted to do an experiment from Sherman Road up to the city limits. And then wash, just like Lenawee County does, their
Right.
sand, wash stone, put in there, because everybody says, well, theirs are nice and theirs are dry and theirs, that's because it's done a cement bird bath holding all the water in. And if we'd have gone past 10 years putting wash stone and sand in there, you could probably go up and run a tile down it like Lenawee County does,
Right.
but we didn't. As you know, wash stone's a lot more expensive.
But if you have to put it on half the time,
I'm researching I agree with you. It's just a matter of finding out what we can really. And if we did do something like that, where would you try it? Because now Platte Road is fixed up there right now.
I'm sure anybody would gladly put up their dirt road and try some,
You think? I'm just saying, I'd like to find a spot to try again, and I don't know if I need anybody's permission or road commissions or how hard I could ride about trying that. Because most definitely the wash rock and their sand is the reason that they have good roads.
I mean, you got, of course, we're just all clay around here, so I don't care what you do, really. In the springtime, it turns to mud.
And that's why some of this ditch cleaning that they're doing is better, because at least it's getting it off the road. We've been cutting berms, it's a slow process, and we're trying to maximize our money, but now with this, I think we can do a lot more good, even if it's just cutting more berms. So that there's no water set when we put
The ditch down here looks great, that they just cut out.
yes,
That's gonna help right there, that was bad this spring.
it was real bad, and then the culvert going under Petersburg Road is what backs it up, and they're still hesitant on that one.
Right. It's just what, I mean, that right there in the corner, because the water goes back north and then goes ditch. Could they cut that so it went south to the creek quicker? Because that one's all cleaned out.
I don't know that's what I gotta tell. Now, exactly what are you talking about?
I'm talking from Petersburg and Cone Road and go south to.
Down to Bear Creek.
Bear Creek, yeah.
If they open up the Petersburg Road Bridge and open it up where it dumps into the Milan Center drain, they won't need to do that. The problem is, the road commission back in '91 undersized the outlet, and it's just been a nightmare, so we'll see what happens if it gets this good next rain, if they ever rain. And washing down through there, the water's flowing, see what it cleans out, so. I guess I'm gonna ask the permission to do some bargaining with the road commission and see what we can come up with,
We don't have anything else to spend it on.
not to falls into their category.
Right.
Bob, you got anything?
Seems like a good use of the money to me.
Barb? All right, thank you,
So
Lou.
you're gonna take the whole amount?
Well, I'm not gonna try to spend it all at once.
No, but that's our goal, but just working on.
To use it for roadside ditching,
Okay, yeah.
the brush trimming and gravel. Just something that benefits all the residents and the people. And then if they change their mind, we can say, hey, you said that was project improvement, so.
So with the COVID relief and the road fund, you got $380,000.
Okay. Hopefully we can get a lot done for that. I don't wanna go sign up for $380,000 worth of work and then something go wrong.
Right,
So let's get started, but yeah, we have 380,000 to work with between the two.
We're gonna start out with just the ARPA.
Huh?
We're gonna start out with just the ARPA.
Right, our other road money technically is counted in for a lake chloride or other things, so it's kind of allocated to a degree.
right.
So I'm talking about what I call bonus money, that ARPA.
Okay, I'll make the motion that.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, I check into getting something done with the roads at the best and most efficient use of the money. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Huh?
Roll call.
Oh, we're spending money, good boy.
Thank you. Treasurer.
Joel, yeah.
Joel.
Yeah,
Joel, how do you vote?
yes.
Olga, how do you vote? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Okay, carry 100%.
new business, site plan for Getaway Bay. John, they submitted this to you or it came to the planning commission Tuesday night, I believe,
Yes,
and
Matt Carey submitted the site plan for Getaway Bay. And the site plan is virtually carryover from the previous owner. And it went through, was approved by the planning commission. And the only difference is that he is requesting to have tent camping at this time for his property. And which camping requires a special use approval from the board for camping. The rest of his operation is carried over and so it just needed a site plan approval. So he has submitted a special use application. And at this time, he's planning on only 5 campsites because of any more than that, he has to get state approval and complications. And so, but he still needs the board to approve a special use approval for.
and this has been okayed by the health department also, I assume?
This would require health department approval before he could start up. He has not started it yet. He was hoping that maybe sometime in August, he'd be able to offer the camping. And now with tent camping, I'm not exactly sure how much the health department gets involved because he has porta potties, for
For a job,
the facilities. And I'm not sure what the health department requirements are for tent camping. But that's something, yes, you would have to get that approval or at least verify that you met their requirements. Whatever they are.
Questions for John?
So you're saying he's starting out with 5, he wants to start out with 5,
Yes, probably in August.
right?
And basically what it amounts to is a spot where they'd have a picnic table, fire, a fire pit, and a place to put is park your car and put up a tent.
Pretty much like a state park did.
Correct. Correct. Now, eventually down the road, next year, or year after, he wants to expand it as well as possibly put some cabins, but that's a whole nother issue.
You gotta get a tent first.
Right, exactly, and so that's down the road, and that's so we'll be addressing that whenever he gets around to this. It's going to require a lot of investment.
Right, well, I will say one thing, if you've driven by, it's been very fortunate not to go through what we did last year with the beach. The complaints and problems, he definitely appears to be doing a very clean up, nice job. I don't see a problem with it.
John,
Yeah.
Okay.
because I think he had a state.
If you put those in, how do you know people aren't gonna come and go all night? I mean, what kind of, is that what they're gonna do? I mean, people can come and go all night.
Well, the facilities closes at, right now it's closing at 8 o'clock, but in the site plan, we say that it has to close at 10 o'clock. However, if he has people camping in the tents, obviously they would be there overnight. And they would also be available, have the ability to drive in and out during the night, but only those particular people. And also that the quiet time would be after 10 o'clock.
Well, pretty much like a state park. Anybody got anything to say, questions, thanks, thoughts? I see no problem with it. I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll second that.
request. Been moved and supported. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Carries. Okay, Barbara, MTA,
Okay.
they want their due money again.
Yes, it's 100 and, excuse me, empty. It's $1,647.12. That includes our annual fees and legal contribution.
We can set 100, I was say jump on it.
I know, when I said that, I thought, oh, I misspoke, so it's 1,000. So I just wanted permission to go ahead and pay it.
Comments from board members?
No.
Well, if we belong this many years, we'll continue. Make a motion to pay them.
I make a motion to pay that annual dues for the MTA.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Spending money. Spending money.
Roll call.
Call it out.
Roll call.
For renewal?
Yes, it's.
What am I, the 20th century? Okay, I'm sorry.
We're spending money.
Okay, you're right,
Yes.
I'm wrong.
Joel?
Yes.
Olga? Yes. Bill?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, roll call, so, okay.
I don't think I'm trying to be betrayed.
That's impossible.
Okay, the Michigan Association Municipal Cemetery Conference.
Yes, I would like to go to it, it's in August, $139 for 3 days. And then you have room and board, I would have 2. Wednesday, I would have Wednesday, Thursday, come home, right? I would have 2 nights of room and board also.
Cemetery Conference, they have to like coffins and stay in.
This is up in Franklin, that's at the very end, yeah, and they have the conference.
Chicken fried.
And it includes all the deals.
Are you just going for?
Yes. Wanda said she wasn't interested.
She's not going.
It does with the cemetery lines.
We got one.
All right,
The
well,
laws changed. I would like to go, so.
I'll make a motion to send you to the cemetery conference.
Me too, but we're spending money, so do roll call.
Okay, I'll do it.
That's why I didn't say no.
I need a second.
You were thinking
I need
about
a
it.
second. You second the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, roll call.
Yes.
Olga? Yes. Bill?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay.
next is the land division for Alice Eiler. Dave looked it over.
I've not seen
I was gonna say, I didn't see it.
Which she divided.
it. All right. Should I bring all copies for everybody?
Sorry. Just a quick explanation. would be fine for me.
This is over on, is this the one with one
And what kind of a split is it a split or is it multiple split?
That's what I'm gonna look for.
Heiser Road, eh?
Huh?
You know, Heiser Road.
Yeah, I do. Have Dave looked at this,
Yes, Karen has, everybody has.
and what is there?
They all said it was okay.
That's the one I thought that I'm talking about. Then is
Isn't
it-
it, split, I think they took the one parcel off and made two parcels.
Yeah, it was a total of 5 or something, and they had to. I think Dave was having a. If you want to know that you can, so you can't do. You wanna look at it?
Sure is. I seen that, I know the guy. Just so we're split.
Bottom left-hand corner. Can't tell you where it is, but find a map, bottom left-hand corner.
You're splitting this big chunk right here, is that what?
But then on of it, the
This one
property,
here,
yeah,
okay.
How big is the parent parcel?
Parcel A is 26. And the B
What are they
is
splitting off?
4 acres.
which still keep leaving the 20-acre parent.
Yeah,
With Hayden and Karen have both approved it, that's what I take my, the laws, approval, so when it comes to us.
yeah.
Motion be in order to accept or deny.
I'll make a motion to accept the land division for Alice Isler.
Been moved and supported to accept the land division for Alice Isler. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Carried. We got that insurance.
You said they approved it.
We approved the, gave a variance that they could split their property, however, unless they were rather imprecise about exactly how much they wanted to split off. You know, the house and barn, except for the 1.5 acres, 2 acres or whatever. So I'm not sure whether their application is detailed enough to provide the split information.
And that's on what road? That's on,
Mead Road.
Main Road, Jim, Main Road.
okay.
They're waiting for the surveyor to show up.
Right.
So I think that it probably should be tabled until
Yeah.
they have a survey and they know exactly what they want to do. They also said that they weren't in a hurry to do it. But they needed to provide you with this request so that they could go to the ZBA to get their dispensation.
Well, based on that, I say let them go to the ZBA,
They did.
They did.
do it. When they come to us, even though it's not a precise number, we know they could have or 2 or whatever, waiting for the survey to give it a, I want to say an approval pending the
No,
survey.
no, because in order for it to be recorded, it has to be precise.
They have to be
So
precise.
like John said, we should table this until they come up with an
Yeah, if there's no
exact-
hurry, I would be more comfortable tabling it till I see the actual numbers,
Right,
I'll make a motion to table it till.
support that. Moved and supported to table this till we get the accurate numbers, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. I was actually headed there, Bob.
remember I helped engineer that.
I just took the long way around. Email from board members.
don't.
That's you,
I'll
Bob.
get emails.
David Carter?
That's you.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out something here. Okay, I would like, and I don't know how everybody's gonna feel about it, but I would like, everyone to give me their passwords for the emails. I was just, we never know when something's gonna happen to one of us. And we gotta have a listing somewhere, and somebody has to have that listing of email, their email address, passwords. And I just like them just in case we could ever have, coming to a meeting, something could happen to us.
Well, then we'll deal with it then. I'm opposed 100%.
Me too.
Can I explain what she's not explaining?
Would help.
We had a question. I don't know why you always leave out the lawyer. We had a question about if with FOIA, if they FOIA the emails. And so she asked the lawyer, what happens if that happens? How do we just ask them, turn in the thing? And he said that there should be, if it's anyone with the MilanTownship.org or whatever, should have the list of the passwords, whether it be, you don't have to show nobody, you can make a box and put them in it. So that if there's an emergency or if somebody's drops dead, you gotta be able to get into, or in the case of the FOIA, they need to be able to get a hold of the stuff.
Well, that makes a lot more sense.
But he
A
said,
master password or something.
I can't remember his exact words, were something about, there's somewhere about with the official email, it's.
Well, the only thing is, I don't have a problem with it per se, as long as it is a lawyer, a township official going in to read my township email.
Nobody would go in and read it unless.
Unless it was FOIA, it's because
Or-
somebody sent me information and I didn't share it with everybody. Then yes, you need to be able to, because I fell over dead, you need to get that information, what was said.
Right.
That part I understand, but only on,
Not open to anybody and
I realize that,
Where is it gonna be kept?
probably I had thought about putting it in the vault.
the vault room with the attorney, I would say. The attorney's gonna be representing us. If something happens, he would be the biological choice.
My, oh my.
So.
No, I said I'm not in favor of that at all.
You have a township,
I do.
you're not in favor of giving a password out to anyone, or even.
No, I'm not in favor of giving out any password on any account with my name on it, under any circumstance, other than a court order.
And just because if they could get in there and write stuff that you didn't want in there,
If we send it to the lawyer, can everybody send their password to the lawyer?
For those who trust lawyers.
I think that if you really had,
Amen.
Hey,
if you really had to get into somebody's email, somebody could get into it.
that's the way I feel.
If you need to get in, call me. I have a, I have a,
Dad, if you got Dad, how can I call you?
I have a password book at home that's under lock and key that my relatives can access and hear the numbers, or the password.
Website run, isn't it? If your email's tied to the website.
You got P. Heath at Milan
Some
Township,
of them are, yeah.
B. Collins,
Okay, if it is, can't you get a hold of who runs the website? They should be able to get like a master password in case of emergency or reset.
Right now, I run the emails are through GoDaddy. I'm the administrator. The only way to do it would be I'd have to change your password to get into it. We just mentioned that London Township, they had put the passwords in a sealed envelope in a fireproof clerk cabinet.
London did, but it wasn't for FOIAs. If there were FOIAs from, like, if somebody requested FOIAs from other board members, then the clerk, the FOIA coordinator, would go to those board members or email them so they have evidence that they were emailed requesting and even giving them a copy of the FOIA and highlighting the part where it would refer to that particular person. If you have any of these keywords in your emails, then I need these emails. If for whatever reason, somebody holds back emails, doesn't provide the emails, then that's on that person of the board. That person can get sued, not
But
the
they're
board
an
as a whole.
individual, that's no
Yes.
government immunity, right?
Exactly. It wasn't to access anybody's computers at London. It was specifically if somebody was fired or they quit or whatever, and they had their computer still locked. That was the only reason that the clerk had the password at London.
And that's what he referred to. He just said that should be something we should have in file or some
Well,
record, but
personally, I'd have to get a hold of a kindergartner to get into my account. They do better than I do with passwords, so. I think mine are written down on like Bob, a lot of them, but hell, they change every time I get to change it, so you can't use that.
that's the problem I see.
It
Yeah,
starts,
that's mine, you have to change.
so I right now, I'm a gambler, everybody knows that I'm willing to take the chance. That if I call over dead, somebody will give you my password to but I'm not comfortable right tonight without thinking about the repercussions, because
They could easily contact.
everything is cyber this, cyber that. And I got enough trouble with my own passwords.
I just think that it would be easy enough if he was to drop dead, that we could.
Somebody could get in there.
Somebody's gonna get into us.
And like she said, if I'm withholding information on the new Ford factory coming in here, and I didn't pass it on to the people, it would be me as a personal thing, and that wouldn't even involve the township of being in the suit, because I'm acting as an individual withholding it. So as of right now, I am not comfortable with that. Just saying, I don't think it's necessary yet. So. Discussion?
I say, I make a motion to just keep our emails private.
Hearing no discussion, you making a motion,
I'll second that.
it's moved and supported. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried to keep them private for now. Issues from board members. Clerk, do you have any issues? No? Joel, treasurer?
No,
Hold it.
No, at the beginning of the meeting tonight, there was talk about a survey, the Cooper Road Bridge. Are we gonna talk more about that, or? what?
That's the one I'm gonna find out about the liability on. And if you're talking about Todd place.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's what he questioned who's responsible, who's liable for the people trespassing.
Why can't we fix that bridge?
Well, that's what kind of delayed it now, is when we're using this ARPA money to do culverts, we can now do it. Traffic count, we couldn't afford it. Get what the initial, you remember how much they were talking, it was ridiculous.
I can't remember, that was way back when.
Yeah, it was for a road that's not traveled, only farm fields on it. And they were gonna surrender the road to the town, or to the county, which surrendered, but not all of them wanted to do that. So then when we talked about the culvert, they wanted, it came up the point, well, if it plugs up the ditch, and they own the property now, who's responsible for it? So that is what we need to get a price on that culvert and see if we want to spend the money to replace the culvert and open the road. Or just close it, abandon it and put up the barriers.
Well, I don't know how much culverts cost, but the one on Wells Road was under 30,000 a few years ago. Seems like,
Yeah, the one north of Coat Road,
yes,
yeah, well, it's gone up.
well,
But this is, what is that, a 24-inch or 30-inch?
She was about walking, it's about 4 foot. 5 foot almost, it's.
Very good.
You.
I was gonna say, you can walk under it. We'll get some price on the culverts to see if it's worth, because it's a zero. Let's say no, it's not on a port road, but it's a Lover's Lane Road, it's the best thing you could use it for. And now the people were using it to dump it because there's no traffic.
Well, any road that you close up, you're never gonna get back, so you know, you need to fix it, I think. I've seen 2 or 3, 4 around here that we could fix,
That's,
you know?
well, Chris Carter's been up here, and I don't know if anybody knows, but go ahead.
I thought it was at your supervisor's meeting. It was Bob Queen at the time, but it
Talks about
wasn't
getting
with,
together.
right. Well, I know because he had some problems there, so that was out, but I didn't know whatever happened with that.
It fell on because nobody wanted, there's so much work out there for like laser shot and all these people. I normally will charge you $10, but because the way things are, I'm gonna charge you 15. They're not hungry, the plan was to get a bunch of it done at once, kind of go together, let's do 10 culverts or and get a ball crate, well, that didn't work. So now that things have changed, and I think the last meeting that Todd talked about it, we hadn't decided to ARPA, we use this for us individually, so now that we've decided we're gonna use the ARPA money, we can get a total price on it, and that include that as one of the projects that we do. I agree with Joel, once you, Sherman Road, all of them, once they're closed, they're done, half road, been how many years, Sherman Road?
Right.
You lose it, it's gone, it's over.
Okay, Road.
Yeah, all right, did that answer your question?
the other issue was, somebody mentioned the survey.
Right? Do you remember the last time we did a survey? Okay. It was over the railroad. Went through that.
So
And
for the railroad, we had a vote.
we also had a survey. And the survey, half of them didn't come back. It turned out, a lot of people, it didn't work. I think everybody knows the project's going on, the feelings, the public hearings, or the public planning commission, the board meetings, hearings, by now they know of it. When it comes time for the public hearing, I'm sure the ones that are opposed will show up. And if they feel strongly vote for it, they'll show up, but they'll know by that point. We've been going on this for damn near a year. Everybody's aware of it. It's just a matter of hashing it out now. So that's only my answer to that question. Anything else?
No.
Bob,
I'm good tonight.
staff,
Yep, a few things. The PC emails you mentioned. Right now, I was starting on getting done MilanTownship.org, because the plan we have one more email included in the plan. We had talked when we went to the new website of switching to the internet, letting them be the administrator, go through instead of GoDaddy. If, like to know what you want, if you want to get the planning commission members, Milan Township emails, then I definitely, just my personal opinion, I would recommend doing that. But either way, I can ask them for the price, to know what the price difference is versus GoDaddy to get. But you need 3 more, because Bob's already on it, so.
Myself.
Well, right, but we already got one, so.
Okay, so 3 more.
Right. So whatever your wish is.
What's the most effective to solve our problems?
Well, I can call them and I can compare the prices and let you know.
Well, why don't you do that, and let's do the most efficient or whatever it is to do the best we can do.
The other thing was just to throw in, let everybody know the audit starts next week. They're coming up. And then we have the accuracy test July 21st at 1 p.m. for the election machine. And that was it.
Yeah, we'll be able to.
Yeah, the 21st is when we run the test ballots.
Right. The test.
Yeah, if you want to see something exciting, people come watch that. Put it in, watch it come out. I'm bad, I apologize, I'm sorry.
It's true.
Okay, stay.
About that, water boil.
All right, we'll get back to public comment. Is anybody totally, nope, Jim first.
Phil, I disagree with you on that. The survey and the vote would be a good thing for the solar thing. And one other quick thing, Larry talked to you about Cooper Road. Yeah, they graded it. They missed about a 6x6 pole right at the end of the road place where they graded it. So
they're getting better.
No, it's still, it hasn't, they went right around it. So,
Well,
and it's a dip down probably that far coming down to Ann Arbor Road, and eventually it's gonna break off that shoulder.
Tim, where did you say that was?
That is right on Cooper, the dead end of Cooper off of Ann Arbor Road, right there.
Actually, I was thinking about going out.
I'll look at it, I'm not surprised, I'll make sure they're aware of it.
I mean, it's not a heavy travel road, they're doing 3 houses,
Well-
but still, they're all elderly people.
I'm not supposed to talk, you know, that I'm gonna blow it. There's 2 patches out here at Cone Road that the hot tar thing was here.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the 2 down the road they missed? After twice, trying to duck, so if you only got one hole with one thing, you scored good.
But there still are people out there that don't know a whole lot about the solar thing. Believe it or not, I went to a public event not too long ago on Petersburg Road. There's plenty of people out there that didn't know about it.
Well, I'll take that under advisement for now. I gotta think about it, so. Thank you. Mark, you were next?
As far as the grading, when they come through last night, they graded way too thick. We actually had stone on the road, now we no longer have stone. So our grader operator is a little training in it.
They were trying to cut the holes out and
There's only holes at that other end of the road.
at the other end of the road.
That was it. The whole road was great. Now it sucks. But anyway, get back, I mean, as far as our money you guys want to use on the roads, why don't we find out what the worst road is in the township? Let's experiment with that if it's got high traffic.
Because nobody will agree on it. That's why I said, give me suggestions and we'll see which one shows
So
up.
say, maybe it's gotta be high traffic for one. That's gotta be a requirement. 2, what one's the worst? High traffic. That would be a good experiment. Instead of just everybody fighting.
Well, one of them that's been the worst has been Flat Road because it's traveled from M50 up Wilcox.
Right.
And once we fix the road, now they use it. The trucks don't want to go up Wabash and make the turns, so they come up Flat Road. That's why Flat Road got it. It needs to be done from Hickory to Cone. And then from Cone all the way down to Bay Road. But
I would just go on.
I don't want this to be too good a road because everyone will be cutting it. No, I say that there's other roads, that, like I said, we could put in 100 yards or 200 yards in the soft spots and just start putting Band-Aids on it right now to get started, so.
I guess the big thing is gonna be the berms.
They're going to continue to cut berms, but one week they're in Bedford, the next week they're down here on Cone Road, the next week. I never quite figured out their routine, and honestly, they're trying. I've never defended the road commission in all the years I've been breathing up here. But I gotta give them credit that they're handed $10 from the state, told them to do $100 worth of work, they're doing pretty good work. And they treated Milan Township, in my mind, good.
Just let the grader guy know that the 324 offers training graders up and now.
Yeah. Teamster trading. Actually, they are teamsters, but.
Yeah.
All right. Any other public comment? Renee?
Yeah,
State your name.
oh, Renee, I'm Renee. So I had mentioned a little while ago, I really believe that it would be beneficial for our township to have like a database set up of emails and phone numbers so that we can contact people, because straight up, I only knew 3 people that got the newspaper. Like, you know, oh, we're gonna post it in the newspaper. Out of all the people I know, which might not know everybody, but of all the people that I know, I only knew 3 people that were getting the newspaper. And out of those 3 people, 2 of them have now decided that they're not getting any longer because they're not publishing as much as they used to back in the day when they published things in the newspaper. So how are we supposed to get information out to people? How are people supposed to know what's going on? You know, like when you're like posting public things that are happening, I'm like, hello, everybody's on their phone, they're on their email, they text messages. And I think that we could do a subcommittee and get like people that are interested in getting information out to people and getting email addresses and text phone numbers. And then it would be a simple little email where we could get information out to people so that the people, our residents, would know like what's up.
I don't disagree with you, but it's been talked about in the past.
I just told Sally, we got the list, we got one over at the other side. And the next time they come up, we're supposed to get it started because we had to get names and numbers first, emails and that. So now that there's a few on the list,
I just put my name
they're
down.
gonna start it. On the one on the left, not the sign-in sheet, but there's a,
Oh, all right.
for that reason, to set it up to go out.
I should put it on the website.
That's a good idea. Hello.
I have one more quick thing. What about, I know you guys talked about it here 2 months ago or 3 months ago when it was rolled that out. What about the tree in the cemetery in Azalea? Is that coming down anytime soon, about the broken one?
I would say it's dry enough.
I think it's funny.
I would too. And I talked with David once ago, he's gonna get it done, and I dropped the ball. I will call him tomorrow and say, it's gotta be done, or we're gonna find another company.
Sunday's rain.
It's gonna rain this week.
Well, it'll be worth the delay if we can get it ready to do it some good, but.
No, I'm just,
No, you're right, he did, and he's had some issues and he felt, I'll get over there, I'll get it done, I will. And he didn't. And I've had a lot of other things, nothing important, but I didn't follow through, I'll admit it, but I will be on it tomorrow. And
you got the
if
ditch
not,
clean, that's a good start. Phil.
huh?
You got the ditch clean, that's a good start.
Hey, I'm trying. I am trying, folks. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. Oh, no. Hi, Holly.
Hi, how are you? I just want to introduce myself. I'm Holly Blade. I'm running for state representative in District 31, which includes Milan Township, all of Milan, all of Dundee, Macon, Belleville. They've gone crazy with these new maps. So, yeah. But you know, part of how I've gotten involved, I'm not a politician, you know, by trade. I'm a parent, I'm a marketing person, and I'm just a conservative person who loves my country. But the last 2 years, I've just not been happy with the way things have been going with our country, with our state, and then locally, I've had some issues, and Bill knows. He's actually been at some of our school board meetings, so he understands some of the stuff that we've been fighting within Milan schools. And if you guys have been around Milan long enough, you know that Milan has actually been a destination school for school of choice people from all around Washtenaw and Monroe County. And we are no longer that. That's really sad. We're actually in a 12+ year decline in enrollment. And it's the number of kids in Milan that go out of district is almost equal with the number of kids who come to Milan now in district. That's what's happened over the last 10 years. That's in addition to everything else you guys see on the news. That's all happening right here in Milan. Critical race theory, pushing some transgender stuff on elementary school age children. We actually, my daughter and my husband are here. My daughter and I just talked to a woman in Milan today whose 4th grade grandson is questioning a lot of his identity right now because of that, because of things he's hearing at school. So it's very real and it's happening right here. It's not just happening in Ann Arbor or in Chicago or New York. It's happening right here in Milan and in Dundee. And that's part of the reason I decided to run, because I'm tired of career politicians not doing what they need to do. So, and all I would say about the meeting tonight, Phil, is that you've been to a few school board meetings. I know you haven't had time because you are busy, but I will tell you from someone who's involved in the school, there are times where I agree with you where I'm like, we've told people, why aren't they involved? Why aren't they doing? The reality is people are busy. So I would just say, it is possible that there are people in your community who don't understand some of the other issues, even though they're real to us. I realize people are just really busy. There's just a lot of.
It's not so much busy. It's just.
It's also hard to communicate with
the world is
everyone.
fast and
Yeah, absolutely.
your bond doesn't treat you with any respect, so.
Don't get me started. I didn't say names, by the way, but I will say my microphone has been turned off during a school board meeting, and I wear that as a badge of pride. So, and I hope they watch this video.
So that's enough to get me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
If you want a yard sign, let us know.
Yes, please. Yard signs. That's why she's my junior campaign.
Cheryl.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if you're in search of a new planner for us, please look for one that's neutral so that it's not pro or against solar. That's all I want to say.
Noted. Nick?
Yeah, Nick, Dennison Road. I'm in agreement with Tim and the young lady over there in the corner that we should have a survey or something done. You, Phil, saying, no, we're not gonna do that, I don't think we should. That's kind of, we gotta be careful. That's kind of, if you got skin in the game, you can't say, I don't wanna do this, we
I think I've been very cooperative about this whole
Hold on a minute.
project.
Hold on, there's a fiduciary responsibility to the people of the township and the township, okay? So you gotta draw a line, and we gotta say, okay, what's good for the township? Well, let's ask the township. That's all I say. We asked them for the railroad, what's different here?
First of all,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I hear you. I'm not gonna agree or disagree. That statement will be taken and something will be figured out. I can't make decisions. But I hear you.
And I want to add one point for the board. Sitting here tonight, the way the board reacted when somebody wanted their passwords to their emails, that to me is concerning. Because, I wouldn't have a problem with somebody taking my emails. If it's business related here for the township, it shouldn't be an issue. So
It isn't on the township website.
what I'm saying is, it looked very odd to me that everybody was, oh, get my email, nobody's gonna come and see my stuff. So the first thing I said was, I'm gonna FOIA all your emails.
You can have mine.
But see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, I got you.
It was, to me, I went, why don't they wanna give?
Because
And it
I'll
wasn't
tell
even-
you why,
it wasn't
because
gonna go
you
to-
didn't have to pay money for a lawyer to protect yourself when your email got compromised, and I did.
But it wasn't going to me, it was going into a safe.
I told her, we're done, points are made, let's keep it, we've done really good. Let's keep it that way.
I have something.
Oh,
Bill, this is a 5-member board. You alone cannot make decisions. It has to be done by all of us.
Well, I don't think I made a decision, Hogan, I don't wanna argue with you, but
You didn't.
getting back to what Renee said, no, I wanna correct this. Getting back to what Renee said, if you'll go back 2 to 3 years and go through the minutes to the meeting about the Monroe Evening News and getting information to the public, it was discovered that the most accurate and best way was the new way to do it, because Monroe Evening News subscriptions had gone away. The whole board voted unanimously to use the Dundee Independent. And now you say they don't get it. Newspapers are dying, that there's no, so the sign-in sheet with your emails and stuff is obviously gonna be the new go-to, but then you're gonna have the ones that say, I don't have email. So,
Well, how many come in to sign in? I mean, that's an issue.
no, but they said they're working on it. This is just one here that we know you people want our emails, you got them anyway, but, all right, I don't wanna, I've been helping you out for your turn. You haven't said nothing but once, so I gotta told you to, I gotta follow rules. Your turn.
Okay. First of all, regarding the road maintenance, when you guys, oh, I'm sorry, Amanda Safety, London Township. When you guys were talking about the site to put down, the county will try to convince you that 21A is the perfect thing to put down. And like you said, our roads have enough dirt, our roads, your roads do. And that is what contains most fine materials mixed in with a little bit of 6A. The best thing for you is 6A, which is 3/4 inch wash. And that's probably what you were just, what he had mentioned, how it was kind of like hard rock, but it was nice. It goes down nicely. But moving on from that, I wanted to, it actually I was kind of piggybacking off of his, and I swear this was not planned. Talk about, I'm wondering if this township has an ethics ordinance. I'm not sure if you do, and I know technically you're not supposed to answer questions, so I think that it would be a good idea to speak with the township attorney about an ethics ordinance. And I say that because I brought this article, one for everyone, and I highlighted the area toward the bottom that explains about conflict of interest. And while Phil, for the most part, you've done pretty good, and I understand things get heated and you have, you're human, I get that. But when you stated,
For the record, next time, hand out your handout before the meeting.
yes, okay, I apologize. But when you stated, when they were talking about surveys, and you said that you had to think about it. It's not for you to think about, you shouldn't have said anything. I believe it is a board decision, and moving even forward from that, if you look at the highlighted area down at the bottom, it says even a conflict of interest is having an employee that is going to be personally affected. And in this situation, and it's no offense to anybody, but I don't believe that the clerk should have any deliberations, discussions, or votes either, because her employee, which is Kevin, he is going to personally be affected by this. And I don't know about the trustees. I don't really know anybody personally. I know what is going around and what is being said.
I know what's being said, but
But my point is make sure you verify with the township attorney and just look at each of you, look at yourself just to be sure, because you have a lot of people here and a lot of people that aren't able to come that are against solar. And I would hate to see the board just like looking over that, not really seeing that it's a conflict of interest, and it comes back to bite you. And that's just my opinion, that,
Okay, well,
It
your
shouldn't be
opinion
done.
is taken, thank you.
and a warning, I guess.
Leonard,
Leonard Ostrander, Milan Township. We had our planning commission work 18+ months on a solar ordinance. That solar ordinance was passed. It came to you guys and was passed. Now it's got moratoriums on it. Now you're wanting to change it. Keep changing it, and there's a lawsuit coming.
they did
I
good
see it.
Tuesday night, finally get down and at least discuss changes on the ordinance, so we're headed in the right direction. There's gonna be no more delays, they gotta work on what they've got. So I can't answer anything. Is there anyone else? Otherwise, I'm gonna call for the adjournment. Thank everyone. Hearing nothing, motion to adjourn,
Make the motion, we adjourn.
I support it. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Same sign, motion carries. Aye.
I'd like to apologize for that.
You just.